Chris, you guys, obviously the rough
I
start.
can't hear him very well.
Can you hear me?
Can we turn the volume up here? The volume there.
Can you hear me now? The start probably wasn't what you wanted, but you guys were able to battle back. You got the lead. It was still a close game at half, and it seemed the start of that second half was where Minnesota started to pull away. What was the message at halftime, and what didn't you get out of the guys early in that second half?
I thought, we missed a couple shots there. I'd have to go back and look at it, but I didn't feel like physically we came out with the necessary stuff there to start the second half. Some of that was, I think our guys were frustrated with missing a couple shots. It was up and down there for a little bit. Our guys did look a little fatigued. I don't think either team break away until Robbins got the N1 there. That wasn't what did it for us. I think across the board, we've got to handle physicality better.
And EJ said something similar, but took a lot of responsibility on himself for not being physical enough. I don't know if that's your assessment, but clearly the Big Ten is going to require that. We've talked about that before. You're going to run into more post players that are frankly bigger than you guys. How do they learn from this and make sure something like this doesn't happen again?
Well, I think as much as anything, listen, our league's really good. We've got great bigs in our league. I think you learn from each experience, and, we've certainly played well against guys that have had size, maybe not across the board physicality. It wasn't just their big size. Their guards are very physical, very physical. And we didn't handle it well. We didn't handle the stuff that you need to handle in a game that's this physical. And it was not just by any stretch EJ. It was across the board, and certainly that's my fault. We got to get them more ready for that level of physicality.
All right, we'll go next to Whitney Harding from WCMH.
Hey, Chris, kind of building on that, how do you get these guys ready to battle? You can't create height. You can't create size. So how, moving forward, do you get them ready? Because this isn't the first time we've talked about this with the group.
Yeah, I think, Whitney, we played really well against size and height. I think I'm sure much will be made about that. Obviously, we've got to finish over size and height better. And we will. I think we will. Some of it was we didn't play smart enough when we did get to the paint across the board offensively. So I'll take responsibility for that. We just didn't make good enough paint decisions. And it wasn't just our bigs. It wasn't our guards. We just didn't make good enough paint decisions. And then, we had a couple that honestly just didn't go down for us.
Alrighty, next up, Adam Jardy, Columbus Dispatch.
Chris, you've talked a lot in the last year about what Marcus Carr has done and the challenge that he's presented. CJ seemed to really shadow him, and he had a tough time getting going, but obviously Liam has the night that he had. What did the scouting look like when you were preparing for these guys as far as how much attention to devote to trying to prevent Carr from doing what he did last season compared to what a player like Robbins could do?
Yeah, Adam, he was a big part of what we were trying to do in terms of our game plan, and we knew that they obviously, they're a really good team. It's, I think, as I've said, the best Minnesota team we've certainly played. We knew they had other weapons that could hurt you across the board, but he was certainly a big focal point, and that allowed some of their other guys to get some open looks. But I think when you have a guy like him who's a tremendous talent, I think it opens up some other things. But they've got really good balance across the board, both with their guard play and their bigs.
We didn't get any explanation in the arena as far as what happened in the technical in the first half, and that seemed like a tough moment. You guys had a lead, and then it was a 4-point possession. What happened there? Can you tell us what the referees told you guys?
Yeah, I don't want to get into the specifics of it, but clearly they just didn't appreciate what was said. So it's that's on me. I take responsibility for it. They just didn't appreciate what was said.
All righty, we'll go next to Steve Hellwagon, 247.
Yeah, Coach. It seemed like you touched on this a second ago about getting into the paint and decision making. It just seemed like he was deflecting one shot after another, and you guys were determined to continue to test him, it seemed. And I think CJ Walker in particular seems like he's pressing maybe a little bit right now in that regard. I don't know, just your thoughts about the defensive game that kid had for them, and also where maybe CJ's at right now, because he seems to be in a real rut.
Yeah, I think he's, CJ's struggling with this thumb injury, and I think it's limiting his, him offensively some, and then I think probably is pressing a little bit, but I think the combination of the two things has impacted him. But he'll respond. He's just got to continue to rehab that thing and get it in a better place. He's frustrated, I think, with the fact that it's bothering him more than he's let on. He's probably not, not given as much, knowing the kid he is. He's probably not wanted to make any excuses, but it is bothering him. But you're right. I think across the board, our paint decisions just weren't good enough. So that's on us. We've got to be better with that.
Thanks.
All righty, next up, Bruce Hooley. Bruce?
Chris, you made a reference the other day to your rotation being bigger than it normally is at this time of year. And I wonder if that compounds the problem of trying to come back in a game like this, is where you're still searching for combinations where everybody knows what they're supposed to do and who's going to give you certain things. Seth had two pretty good games back to back. Tonight wasn't his night. CJ was not out there for a lot of tonight. Just could you speak to the fact that the size of the rotation may put you at a disadvantage in coming back in a situation like this?
Yeah, I think it's a valid point, Bruce. I think it's a valid point. And I think I've got to figure out, what that rotation looks like. And, I think we've got a lot of guys that bring positive things and may on one night fit in a certain game, but maybe another game may not exactly fit. But, if that means we've got to look at shrinking it, we may have to. But I think it's a valid point. We're playing a lot of guys. We are playing a lot of guys. Some new guys and some young guys. So we've got to, we just got to look at it across the board. I don't know that I want to get to shortening it right now, but I think there might be a time where I've got to look at doing that.
After the Nebraska game, your first comment was that, hey, this isn't typical. You don't have easy ones like this very often. So I know you didn't want to put a lot of stock in that. Is it different in a loss? This is not a typical loss for you. So is there any similarity there with the same, like, don't overreact, or because there were so many things that were not up to your standard, you can't take the same approach to a big loss that you can a big win?
I think you're as much as anything, you hope that like we've got to do some things better. There's no ignoring that. We got outplayed and outcoached tonight. We've got to do some things better. So I think, that's what you're looking to try to do here as you move forward. Go back to the video, but give them credit. They're a good team. We knew, obviously, they're a really gifted team. But I think we can do some things better to put ourselves in a better position. I like the fight of our guys after we got down early, as you mentioned. I thought we had good fight there from really the 5-minute mark to the end of the first half, or the 15-minute mark. But, we need to be better to beat a team of this caliber.
All righty, we'll wrap it up with one last one from Adam Jardy.
Well, I guess I'll make it a two-part. Dwayne was as efficient as maybe he's been in a while. I guess, what did you see from him offensively? And Musa coming back, but it didn't look like you could use him as much. Fatigue issue, having not practiced in a week.
No, he had a scouting report issue there early. And some of that was he just wasn't with us for a week. But he's a smart kid. I know he, he normally picks up on those things really quickly. I thought Dwayne was good offensively, made good decisions for the most part. I know he had 3 turnovers. His ball handling has to continue to improve. And I thought they made him an important point in focus, but I thought for the most part, he took good shots. I think the ball sticks too much when the first option's taken away. He's still got to move the ball a little bit more, but good step forward for him. But across the board, we've got to collectively be much better offensively, and it's on all of us.
Thanks, Chris.
All righty, Coach. Thank you. Have a safe trip home.